Hey, Brenda, Steelers training camp opens up tomorrow. When does Cowboys training camp open? Do you know?
Sometime here within the next couple of weeks, I believe.
Yeah. All right. Brenda Siri is in Dallas. That's why I felt I had to ask her that question. Is everybody as crazy about the football community in Dallas as they are here in Pittsburgh?
Yes, everybody loves their Cowboys, and high school football is huge here in Texas.
Yeah, here too.
Yeah, we have some stadiums here that high school stadiums that are built that were like over $60 million to build. Yeah. Pretty fancy.
Gracious sakes. All right. Well, let's talk with Brenda about the reason she's actually here with us this morning.
We're not talking about football?
We can, whatever you want. Hiring expert, she is the president and CEO of Corporate Connections, has over 20 years of industry experience in talent acquisition, and that's a really, really good topic for us this morning. So this report comes out, says it's a low hiring job market.
Mm-hmm.
Brenda, what's that mean?
Well, for some, it means that there just aren't enough jobs available right now. And part of the reason is you've got fewer people retiring nowadays. People are staying in jobs longer after the pandemic and all the layoffs that were going on with companies. People are staying in jobs, even if they're not jobs they love. So, you've got a lot of that going on, which is why there's not a lot of inventory of availability.
Which is surprising to me because everything that we were hearing during the pandemic was, I sort of like this lifestyle and maybe I should walk away from it all. And I would have thought more people would have wanted to retire and here they're holding on.
Yeah, they definitely are. I mean, look, it's getting more and more expensive to live every day, right? So people are hanging in there a little longer. And, even some people I talk to say they want to keep working to keep their mind active, or they're afraid to retire because they're afraid they'll get bored. So I do think you're seeing an older workforce, a more mature workforce staying around. But people are hiring. There are jobs out there. Here's a statistic that may blow your mind. Korn Ferry put out a statistic last month. 11,000 people apply for jobs every minute on LinkedIn.
Wow.
Yeah.
Every minute?
Every minute. Yes.
Right.
Shocking, right? Shocking statistic.
It really is. Well, here in our area, of course, we had the announcement of the new gas-fired power plant. 10,000 jobs they're talking about just to build the place, and then the data centers and the thousands of jobs that will come with that. So it's a really, really competitive, hot job market that is about to open up here in our area, and of course all the side businesses around it. So maybe it's different regionally all across the United States, but the overall picture, if it is low firing and low hiring across America, well, how do young folks especially go about getting a job, especially a job in the field for which they've trained?
So I first of all, I'll let you know, I am also an adjunct professor at a university here in Texas, and I teach a course called Professional Development. I am helping master's degree students who are getting ready to graduate and start looking for a job. I help prepare them for how to do that. And one of the things that I tell my students is you've got to make a list of target companies that you would want to work for. You've got to feel excited about their products, about their mission, about their values, and so make that list. Know who you're wanting to target first and foremost. And then instead of getting on LinkedIn every day, and hoping that they have posted some job there, go to their website every single day. Make getting a job your job. Go look at their website every day, see what jobs are open, see if there are jobs that you're qualified for, and apply directly to the company's website versus being one of those 11,000 people every minute that's applying on LinkedIn.
Yeah, so rather than waiting for the fish to bite, jump into the water and grab them.
Yes, exactly. Sink your hook in them yourselves, So that's really important. And one of the things I'm finding is that, a lot of people don't know how to properly network. They don't know how to connect with people, and it's so important to do that. And I think it's really challenging for the Gen Z group. They've spent so much time communicating with people by text and not enough verbally, that it's really hard for them to know how to put themselves forward and network. So networking is something that's very, very important as well to do. So my students, some of them don't even want to make eye contact with me or shake my hand, and you've got to be able to do that if you want a job, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, the Zoom generation has really affected it, hasn't it?
Yes, absolutely. And we do see a lot of companies saying, hey, we've got to get back out and into the office. We're not going to sit behind a computer screen anymore. And, some people are like, no, I'm not going to work unless I can work remote. And others are thinking, okay, great, I'd love to get back in front of people. So it's a challenge because I do think generationally, the people that haven't really done it would rather stay behind the computer screen, and the people who have done it would like to get back into an office.
We have our Chamber of Commerce, which a couple of years ago initiated something called the Soft Skills Challenge, going into our schools and literally taking kids and teaching them how to approach personal contact, person to person. Because with the pandemic, we lost out on that opportunity for that generation to learn those skills.
Absolutely. 100% agree. And I love that your Chamber of Commerce is doing that. My students, on the first day of class, before I let them leave the classroom, I make each one of them come shake my hand and tell me, introduce themselves. And you can really see how difficult that is for them because of the pandemic.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Brenda Siri is our guest this morning, hiring expert, president and CEO of Corporate Connections. Brenda, when we think about young folks coming out of college or coming even out of high school or technical school, whatever it is that puts them into the situation where they're seeking that first job, is it valuable to them? Well, basically what I tell my folks when they come looking for jobs here is make yourself as valuable to your company as you can. Versatility is what I'm getting at. Is the versatility that you're able to demonstrate to a potential employer a really important aspect here?
Oh, absolutely. And I think, even for a more mature job seeker, it's important that your resume tells the story of what you've done in your career and lets the person, whether it's a recruiter or a hiring manager who's reading it, not only see that you've accomplished things, but also that you've stayed relevant, whether it's through training, mentoring others. You've got, especially in today's fast-changing world, right? You've got to stay relevant. You've got to stay on top of things. And that's where there's a challenge for, a more seasoned employee versus someone new that's coming out of college and has had the latest and greatest training, right? Yeah. That they may come across as being more relevant. So it's important to stay on top of things today and make sure that you show that you can stay in and be one of those people who can stay longer if you don't want to retire early.
Yeah, and where you said earlier about the idea of getting a job, the job of potential candidates for some of those jobs that are out there, and I want to revisit that topic a little bit and talk about those relationships that you can build and the idea of researching the job and what it will be in the company and knowing what you need to know about that company, and because it's a competitive environment, maybe beating them out based upon the fact that you know the job.
Right. Absolutely. It's so important. It's so important to study a company and, and even, like I said, connect with people that work at that company. That's a great way to network. You can, without reaching, make that connection. And then without reaching out to them and saying, hey, can you help me get this job? Maybe it's more about, tell me what it's like to work at that company. Right. So you've got some idea going into it. And you really have to really believe in their products. And I'll give you a quick example. I'm a vegetarian. I don't think it would be good for me to work at Chick-fil-A, not because I don't think they have a phenomenal hiring strategy management training. It's a great, great company. But how can I work for a company that's serving chicken when I wouldn't eat chicken myself, right? So you really need to believe in the company's products, and that's why researching it is so important. You should also always research the person that you're going to interview with before you interview them so that you know, have they been with the company for a really long time? Have they grown with the company? Are they new to the company? What other background do they have? You want to be relatable when you talk to the person that you're going to interview with.
The probably outdated way to look at the job market in the past was always blue collar jobs and white collar jobs. Are what you're talking about this morning, is that applicable to both of those types of jobs?
Of course it is. Absolutely. I mean, most people are on LinkedIn, right? Most people are. In a blue collar job, if you are going to interview with the head of the service department at a car dealership, I bet you can find them on LinkedIn and go do a little research, right? Mm-hmm. So I do think it's applicable to both blue collar and professional jobs, probably more so in professional jobs than blue collar jobs, but you can still walk into a job interview at McDonald's and have some knowledge of the company's core values and what they do beyond just serving, great French fries.
Yeah, absolutely. Brenda Siri with us here this morning on Indiana in the Morning. So where can folks learn more about you and what you can do for them?
Well, I am on LinkedIn, and I think I am the only Brenda Siri, and my name is spelled just like the app on the Apple phones, Siri. But you can also find my website at corporateconnectionsllc.com.
Beautiful. Brenda, thanks so much for spending a little bit of time with us this morning. I appreciate it.
It's been a pleasure, Todd. Have a great day.
You too. It is the voice of Indiana County. It's WCCS 101.1 FM, AM 1160, and WCCSradio.com.